Well, we got to admit that Putin is really the master of strategic surprises, especially when it comes to the information space. By his appearance first in Crimea and now in Mariupol, he is trying to send two important messages, both to the West as well as to his domestic audiences. To the West, the message is one of defiance, especially with this visit coming on the wings of the ICC decision ruling in The Hague. Pretty much, he's showing that he's unapologetic, and he, effectively, he wants to show that he's above those legal developments, and also to his people, he's showing that he's in control. Ultimately, as you saw, he's visiting different locations there. He wants to show the Russian people that he's taking care of things, that he's personally involved. This is part of this information warfare, which is really the centerpiece of Russian hybrid warfare, but also of Putin's personalistic grip on power. I mean, the stability of his regime is the center of gravity for Putin, and therefore he knows how to play this information game quite well. And information warfare requires also escalation dominance. So if the West does something to try to put pressure on him, he lashes out, he pushes against that with such messages, such visits. And also, of course, he's saying, he's telling the world and Ukraine, Crimea is ours. Obviously, the 18th of March was the anniversary of the illegal annexation of Crimea by Russia. So many messages. Putin is unapologetic. He's not yielding, obviously, and he's still, capable of surprising both the domestic and international audiences with such visits.
Amar, that effort to control the information space, as you say, is one that President Putin is a master in. But I do wonder about the decision as well to visit the particular areas that he has, including sort of the children's centre in Crimea and then a theatre in Mariupol, with the sort of symbolism that will have. Will the idea that he's gone to a children's centre in Crimea the day after he's accused of illegally deporting children from Ukraine to Russia, that message won't be lost on the Russian people, will it?
No, of course, yeah, absolutely. They will spin the story as, they always do, that Putin actually loves children, that he takes care of children, that what he and his commissioner for children's affairs did was actually, benevolent, beneficial for those children, etc. I mean, the Russian propaganda knows how to spin those stories. You're right. These are well-selected sites for the purposes of Russia's disinformation campaign, and it's definitely tied to this ICC ruling. This is part of the Kremlin's narrative, and it's so we can say that the information warfare has begun, the information campaign to actually try to exonerate Putin, at least in the eyes of the Russian population and of those nations and audiences that support Russia.
Yeah, and let's just look ahead at a couple of hours, 24 hours or so, Mark, because there is still a plan in place for President Xi Jinping to travel to meet Putin. I guess Putin will have to travel back from Mariupol for the meeting in Moscow. What difficulties is that going to place on President Xi and the Chinese state, who, before the war began, said they were standing back to back with Russia, but now President Putin is an indicted war criminal?
Well, it'll be, I would say, a serious reputational blow to President Xi, obviously meeting with someone who is now a pariah, effectively a criminal in the eyes of the civilized world. And of course, China still depends on its commercial relations with the West, especially Western Europe, where the court is located. But on the other hand, Xi is an ideological leader. And I suspect that in this case, the ideological affiliations and the alignments of his interests with those of Putin, that is distracting the West and keeping the West involved in a theater that's away from Taiwan, away from East Asia, might actually play better for Xi. Therefore, I mean, I would be surprised if he cancels the visit. Obviously, there are many, many important things to decide there. The supply of Chinese ammunition, which has been reported already by the U.S. intelligence. Therefore, the propaganda will find a way to spin it, both on the Chinese and the Russian side, and explain it away.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, I do appreciate your analysis this morning. Thank you very much.